Please remain standing as the 512th Airlift Wing Chaplain from Dover Air Force Base, Lieutenant Colonel Gregory Ellis, offers our invocation.
O Lord, how excellent is your name in all the earth. The drivers are ready. The pit crew stands by. The fans are psyched. Give us a good race, a clean race, as we're ever grateful to be in the land of the free, the home of the brave. Amen.
Here to perform our national anthem, please welcome the USO Show Troop.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say, does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave?
Let's hear it one more time for the USO Show Troop.
Gorgeous afternoon for racing. It is a little bit cool out, but it will be hot under the collar for these playoff drivers.
These last 7 races, you're giving it all you got. This is what our season comes down to. Everybody seems to bring their best equipment, have all their I's dotted and their T's crossed when they get to the playoffs.
Round 2, here it comes.
This year, I'm a smarter racer, and we're more consistent.
To try to dethrone one of the top 3 is going to be a challenge.
If you want momentum, Christopher Bell's got it.
That's the way to get it done, boy. Hell yeah! That's the way to do it, buddy. Yeah, baby!
When putting the highest intensity moment of your life, will you be able to execute it?
The Xfinity Series champion!
I never thought I would be doing this. I thought the guys who were driving race cars were gods.
That's an awesome drive, big league stuff.
We have the point lead, so if we maintain, we'll be racing at Homestead.
For 4 drivers, it is over in Dover.
You do not want to be one of the bottom 4 of the 12 that have started the playoffs, and it all comes down to this race to determine who those 4 that are going to be eliminated will be. Let's go to trackside and Dave Burns.
Rick, the driver of the 11, Justin Haley, is at the bottom of the bottom 4. 39 points out. Justin Haley must win today. He said, we've had so much bad luck lately. In fact, finishing an average of 24th in the playoffs. He's just got to get his luck right today and have a winning race car to make it through to the next round, Dylan.
And Dave, the first driver out of the playoffs right now is John Hunter Nemechek. He's 11 points below the cutoff line. The plan for this group today is simple. Play offense. They want to be aggressive all afternoon long. That starts with scoring points in stage 1. Marty, keep your eye on this 23 car today. They need to be on the move early.
Well, Dylan, we've mentioned it. Chase Briscoe, today's pole sitter, will have to start at the back of the field. During qualifying, they found an electrical issue on the 98 car, and they changed everything they could, all of the electrical system. In fact, crew chief Richard Boswell told me we would have changed more if we had more time. In an ideal world, I would love to have changed everything inside this car, but they've gotten done, Rick, what they can get done. We'll see what happens when they start at the back today.
Yeah, we'll see how long it takes Chase Briscoe to get to the front. We know he's got a fast car. Obviously, a lot of changes made. We'll find out how those changes work out. Let's get the engines fired. We go for the command.
And now, for the most famous words in motorsports, please welcome your Grand Marshal from the Delaware State Police, Lieutenant Tracy Condon.
Drivers, start your engines!
Crank them up. Fired up.
I was actually expecting her to say, "And can I see your driver's license and insurance, please?" That's normally what they say. It is Miles the Monster versus the playoff contenders. Who will be successful here? Which 8 will advance into the second round of the playoffs? And which 4 will be eliminated?
got to go into it with the mentality that it's the same race just like last week. Your intensity goes up a little bit. You try and make sure that you're showing up as prepared as possible.
Everybody seems to have all their I's dotted and their T's crossed when we get to the playoffs.
You never know what's going to happen in this playoff format.
Will hop in a 2-car. He's going to miss the chicane.
And they're piling up behind him. And around goes the 8. Bottlenecks up turn 1.
To win a championship, it's why you show up, it's why you get out of bed, it's why you do everything you do.
Well, the Roval was tough, but what about Miles the Monster? It could be even tougher on these playoff contenders. We look at the 2020 Toyota GR Supra leading the field as the official pace car for today's Drive Sober 200. Cars rolling off of pit road now as we look at the starting grid. Again, Chase Briscoe won the pole, but he'll have to go to the rear after they made changes. Austin Syndrich will become the control car. We'll get into that a little deeper later.
Yeah, no surprise, all of these guys up front, playoff drivers, Cole Custer, Tyler Reddick will make up row 2. Custer dominated that race back in the spring, ended up losing out to to Christopher Bell. You see Harrison there.
Harrison Burton and Christopher Bell, teammates here in row 3. Noah Gregson and Justin Allgaier in 4. Let's see if we can talk with Justin.
Hey, Justin, it's the Booth Boys. You got us?
Yeah, boys, go ahead.
Man, you're a previous winner here. I want to know what makes you so good here.
Jeff, I wish I knew, man. This place in Bristol has always treated me really well, and just the first laps I made here, I felt really, really comfortable here. This place is all about moving around, finding the line that suits your car best. There's a lot of techniques that will make speed here, but finding that one that kind of suits you and your car the best is a really big deal. And it's a lot like dirt racing. The line that is fast early may not be fast late, and I feel like that suits my driving style really well, growing up on the dirt track. So we got Northeastern Supply on the car this week as a primary. They've been a longtime partner of Junior Motorsports and myself as an associate, so to have them on the car as a primary feels really good. And the goal is to go get that gold miles. Man, I got the regular miles of Monster. Nothing more cooler than, or nothing more awesome than to have the gold version sitting at the house next to it.
Justin, a lot of talk in the Xfinity garage about cars that were really fast on short runs and or fast on long runs. Which were you better on?
We felt like we were really good on the long run. That was where we worked really the most yesterday. Was we felt like the short run was great, especially for qualifying and getting that track position. But we knew we were going to have to be good for the long run, and that's where we worked the hardest. But we still got our work cut out for us. This is a tough place, man, and there's a lot of really good cars in the field today. So we just got to go out there and try to do the best we can, and hopefully put ourselves in that perfect position.
Good luck, buddy, and on behalf of all the fans, thank you for taking time to spend a few minutes with us.
Absolutely. Hopefully we put on a great race for all the fans at home, and the fans, we appreciate it.
As you can see, we'll be riding along with Justin Allgaier. He starts 8th. He has the Sonic onboard camera. Also the left front bumper cam, so a little bit closer look at this surface, the concrete surface here.
Justin Haley with the leaf filter onboard camera. Looking back, you're going to watch him work this track so physically demanding. Watch that head rest up against that headrest.
Christopher Bell looking back on the driver. Again, this will be some cool shots today. See how much work Christopher is doing with this Toyota cam.
And starting 4th will be the 2 of Tyler Reddick. He has the Goodyear onboard camera with him, and he has the helmet cam. So we're going to be down on the bumper. We're going to be looking back at the drivers, and we're also going to be on the helmet getting the perspective that the driver has. And it's pretty incredible. So now with this being elimination race, stage points, very, very important, Steve.
Yeah, at the end of stage 1 and stage 2, the top 10 will receive points. Those are short stages here. So when we talk about that 11-point gap that we currently have at the bubble, right, that can be made up in stages alone. You get a couple top 5s. The guy you're going against doesn't. Next thing you know, you've made up all 11 points before we even get into the final stage of the race.
So in May, how did these guys do? What is this a gauge on how they're going to do this race? So Annett scored 27 points. Nemechek 30. Brandon Jones 36. If Brandon Jones can score 36, that's going to put some serious pressure on Michael Annett at only 11 points above him. So this will be a battle from the time they drop the green flag. It's not just about how they finish. Like you said, Steve, these stage points are going to help determine which one of these guys moves forward.
You already mentioned it, Michael Annett starting at the rear. 45 laps. Points will be awarded. Can he get through traffic?
and get some of those points at the end of stage 1. Before the green flag flies, let's hear a few more storylines. Dave.
Rick, to improve his Dover game, Noah Gregson decided this week to spend a couple of days in the simulator. Between those days, he talked to 11-time Dover winner Jimmy Johnson about how he races here. He said, what Jimmy told me on Tuesday fundamentally changed the way I raced between Monday and Wednesday, and he's applied that all weekend. We'll see how it works for him today, Dylan.
And Dave, it's been a banner year for Ryan Sieg. Unfortunately, their 30th place finish last week has them a tough 37 points out of the playoffs. While it may take everything aligning for them to make it to round 2, they haven't lost sight of having 5 more races left this year to improve their program. So that's become the goal now, learn every time out, put themselves in position to be in this exact spot in 2020, just maybe with a few more points to their favor. Marty?
Dylan, it's crazy to think that your entire season can come down to 200 laps and maybe even 45 laps in a stage. That could be the case for Michael and Annett today. You guys clearly painted the picture. Here in the spring, scored the least stage points of any of the drivers on the bubble. And with the 45 laps in stage 1, it's going to be tough to get stage points in that stage. Travis Mack, the crew chief, told me if we can get stage points in stage 1, I'll feel a lot better about our day. But man, is it going to be tough, Rick.
Yeah, he's at the back. I know Chase Briscoe went back there as well. The 98, he's back there.
Yeah, little small things in a race, right? You said Chase Briscoe is having to start in the back, so what that means is the inside line, that whole line just moves forward. So who's the winner of that? Brandon Jones, qualified 9th, but essentially he's going to start 7th. So it's almost like picking up 2 spots already just because you happen to be in the line that's going to move forward.
Let's listen to a pep talk. Here's Justin Haley's team.
Hey man, just like I told you, I don't call it a must win. I call it do the best we can. Let's keep building. You're much better than where we at, just like I told you in that text message. Go have fun with it. Smile. Pass everybody.
Well, Chris Rice might not call it a must-win. I will. It's a must-win for Justin Haley. He's 39 points back, 3 guys in front of him that he's going to have to go past in points. And the only way to really do it easily is to do it by getting to victory lane. So the 00 moved up, but the control car is the 22 because he was the 2nd best qualifier. So that means that the 00 cannot get past the 22 on the start of the race. The 22 has to get to the start-finish line first. Green flag is out and Elimination Saturday underway. Syndrich up front in the 22 and already into the wall, and now the 18 goes around. Harrison Burton spins. We saw just in front of the 18.
Hold on right there.
The 19 has damage. Brandon Jones, the hood almost off of this car.
Yeah, huge damage to the 19.
Yeah, that left front nose,
get the hood back on.
Hood obviously, this track's so fast, Steve, it's going to really hurt their chance. Even if they can get that hood down, it's really going to hurt their opportunity here.
And we talking monster mile. It will jump up at any point. We know it. Widest part of this racetrack is actually the corner. There's very little room.
In front of Harrison Burton. Let's take another look at what happened here coming out of 2.
Harrison gets really loose, basically by himself. He had a car on the outside. 19 nowhere to go. Makes contact with the 18. Harrison making his first Xfinity start here.
Yeah, that's the last thing Harrison wanted to do, is be involved in a situation where you see right there.
That's Tyler Reddick.
Yeah, Tyler Reddick very loose also.
So was the 7 of Justin Allgaier. He was almost around.
That's the last thing that you want to do, is be involved in a situation with your teammate in this point battle. Both those cars really sideways.
Obviously the grip level of the racetrack and not what the drivers expect, as we have 3 cars getting sideways, one of which the 18 spinning around, 19 with heavy contact. Noah Gregson gets fortunate, kind of gets by on the bottom. Take another look right here. If you look all the way at the left, Tyler Reddick is up the racetrack and sliding. Here's the 18, and look at the 9 squeezed by nowhere for Brendan Jones and the 19 to go.
Something on the 19 car too that's a bigger concern is when he made that contact with Harrison. I feel like it may have damaged the radiator. I feel like I see some water coming out.
The radiator was moving around. You can see that when he was still going around the car.
You see on the left, that's Tyler Reddick. He's going to repair the right rear quarter panel. On the right, Brandon Jones. Look at the steam. That looks like day over, Marty.
Yeah, that is a big concern for, and they are done. Jeff Mandering tells them they are done. Going to shut off the engine here, incredible. The season will be over here in terms of the playoffs for Brandon Jones. You hear them talking about pushing it back to the garage area. Jeff, you called it. Yeah, the Radiator done here on the 19. That is a tough way to end it. They didn't really get it in the fight today at all.
Marty, he was 11 points below the cutoff line and now won't even have a chance to fight to stay in the playoffs. NASCAR on NBCSN is brought to you by Toyota. Let's go places. And by Credit One Bank, the official credit card of NASCAR. Perfect for race fans. So not even a lap into this elimination Saturday, and Brandon Jones has been eliminated. He is no longer out on the racetrack. A lot of damage for the two of Tyler Reddick as well, starting up front.
Yeah, and a big break for Michael Annett, protecting those 11 points. He was trying to do it against two cars. Now it's one. Travis Mack, tell your driver the whole situation has changed. Keep him up to date.
Coming back for the restart. Austin Syndrich, a great restart there as he was able to jump out in front of Cole Custer in the 0-0. We'll see how they do through two this time around. Justin Allgaier in that 7, he was sideways.
Two times we've seen the outside line launch much better than the inside.
Here comes Christopher Bell in the 20 also. And a successful green flag lap. It's Syndrich, Allgaier, Custer, Bell, and Zane Smith up in the top 5 also in that number 8.
For this battle, 0-0 of Custer. This is a very tough pass. Allgaier's going to work that outside, going to try to pinch him off all he can on corner entry. Oh, both of them got loose right there.
Allgaier almost up the racetrack, caught it, stays to the outside of Cole Custer, and he's going to complete the pass.
Yeah, they both lost momentum, but it ended up working out better for Custer.
And what a move by Christopher Bell. He'll also get by that 0-0 of Custer. In practice, it looked as though Cole Custer was the class of the field. And right now, it's early in this run, but Cole Custer being passed by two cars, Allgaier and Bell.
Here's the 98 of Chase Briscoe, the pole sitter that had to go to the back because of those electrical issues. Right behind him, Matt Black with the gold numbers. Michael Annett in the 1, already moving up. These two are in the 18th and 19th position. Oh, the 0 up the racetrack.
And you talked about Custer being the class of the field, but that 98 car, I mean, he had to start in the back, but that 98 car in practice of Briscoe, he was exceptionally fast as well.
Yeah, had won the pole, so we know he has a lot of speed. Had to go to the back because of the changes they made. And now he's working on trying to get through this field also.
It's so difficult. It's only a 200-lap race, yet you're going to have some long runs. It's really a compromising situation. 2 45-lap sprints for stage 1 and 2, and then a long 110-lap final stage of 51. Some pretty heavy smoke out of the 51. I can't tell if it's engine or tire smoke. Jeremy Clements will bring his car to pit road. All the tires look up. He was running in the 9th position.
He radioed Steve. He thinks it just blew up.
Oh,
Monster big already on these guys.
Yeah. It has been brutal. So potentially Jeremy Clements out now with an engine issue. We see Reddick trying to get by that 0-1.
Tyler Reddick, I know he has an attack attitude. That's how he always drives. But this is going to be the one case where he's really going to have to take a deep breath. Randall Burnett, his crew chief's going to say, hey, okay, buddy, listen, we came in with a lot of points. This is not the race to go prove how good we are. This is the race to prove how mature we are. Let's just do what we need to advance. That is not popular in racing. No one likes points racing. But guess what? Points racing is the answer for the 2 right here as we look on the helmet, the Goodyear onboard camera. Hear him working that throttle, Jeff.
And that's exactly the message from Randall Burnett to Tyler Reddick. Just going to take a deep breath here early in the race. Remember, Steve, if they collect stage points here in stage 1, and obviously those laps are dwindling down quickly, they can clinch in and already automatically advance to the next round. So that's kind of their focus. But they're back here in the 2 pit building braces for that right rear, which is still kind of caved in, and making a plan for what they need to do on the next stop. The car not completely fixed, but trying to stay focused and stay in the game for the 2 teams.
Well, the news came that Tyler Reddick will be racing on Sundays. Those races are twice as long as Christopher Bell makes a little contact with the outside wall. Tyler Reddick racing on Sundays against Christopher Bell. Yeah. Both of these drivers already know next year they'll be moving to the Cup Series.
And we're seeing Christopher Bell falling back quickly.
No fuel pressure.
Oh, sounds like an engine issue.
Pressure.
No fuel pressure. No fuel pressure for the 20.
So here making the move on the outside of Allgaier, gets out of the groove a little bit, then gets into the wall. I don't think, would they be connected, Steve? Making contact and then losing fuel pressure?
Well, these cars do. Most of them run a mechanical fuel pump. What that is the pump is actually in the trunk, and there's a cable that drives it. Unlike the Cup cars that are fuel. Let's see here. They go under the hood.
Horrible start for Joe Gibbs Racing. I mean, I'm not sure it could be any worse.
I don't know if those could be connected, but it's awful coincidental timing. Did you just hit the fence at like the perfect thing that dislodged something? I don't know, but very odd for sure.
Not the start that JGR was looking for here at the Monster Mile, and Austin Syndrich continuing to lead.
That 20 car, Christopher Bell, has won the last 2 races here. Be a new winner today.
16 laps, Rick. This is all happening in 16 laps.
First 16 laps. Things happen fast here at the Monster Mile. caution has come out again. The Harmonator this time, coming off of turn 4, had a little help, turned around and into the wall. Look at this. John Hunter Nemechek in the 23 comes up, tags him.
Yeah, John Hunter Nemechek back in the gas way before Harmon, and it really seemed to get slowed down before he made contact. I feel like Mike Harmon won't be happy about that.
No contact in the left rear. Rarely do you see a car spin without contact here. Walls on inside and outside straightaways. Heavy contact, a lot of damage to the 74 car.
They call it self-cleaning. 24 degrees of banking in the turns. The straightaways are banked as well. Dylan.
Well, Rick, I don't think that was exactly what they drew up, but their points position and their position on the racetrack is what the 23 team drew up right now. They've marched forward inside the top 10. They just wanted to make sure stage 1, the goal was to get stage points, and they're in position to do that right now, but they realize they probably need 3 or 4 more than everybody else that they're battling to put themselves in a comfortable position, so they'll try and pick some more off here over the final back half of this first stage.
Interesting choice of words there. Pick a few more off for the end of the stage. John Hunter Nemechek got into the 74, but it's Austin Syndrich that's out front. It is a tie right now for that pivotal position. John Hunter Nemechek and Michael Annett tied for that spot. It goes to a tiebreaker of the 3 races in this round. Whoever has the best finish between those 2 drivers. Dave.
And we saw the 18 of Harrison Burton a little out of control off turn 2 there. Harrison, what happened?
It's hard to say, man. There's so many things that go into this place, and I've heard 5 different stories from 5 different people of we got sucked around or there was oil on the track or whatever it may be. The bottom line is it's just upsetting and frustrating. Not a lot of grip out there. I think Gear 2 was slipping around and sliding as well. Just a frustrating deal. These guys work so hard, and to have the first lap to go out of the race is tough. But you know, it's frustrating, and we'll move on and come back next time and go and try and win.
Thanks, Harrison.
Well, he said it right. It's frustrating, and it's frustrating because Harrison's here making his first start. The goal is 200 laps, you know, to learn about Dover and the Monster Mile. We talk about how much this track changes when rubber goes down over the course of the run. So the only way you learn that is on the racetrack. Unfortunately for Harrison, it's going to be a short run. Dave.
Well, Brandon Jones just walked out of the infield care center. Man, can't believe we're talking this early, Brandon. What happened?
Yeah, I always trying to find the positives of this kind of stuff. Obviously, none today. But the good thing is we can still go win one of these races, and I think we can still get to maybe 5th on the points. So can't do anything whenever these guys spin out. There's just nowhere to go. this always is a self-cleaning racetrack. You always get guys going down to the bottom if they do have an incident like that happen. So I was going to go to the top, and I guess he just didn't have enough momentum yet to start coming across the track. So this is, I don't know, man. I've had one race like this where I've wrecked the start or the beginning of the race. So these are tough. And I know it's going to be tough for my guys to rally back from this one. But like I mentioned, we got good tracks coming up still. Texas is on my mind to get there and maybe win that track.
Trying to stay positive. Brandon Jones out of the playoffs and out of the race, guys.
Yeah, the 22-year-old with a pretty good attitude. You know that he was wanting to be able to fight his way into the playoffs, second round, taken away from it.
Rick, in my entire career, these were the toughest because everything was for nothing. You don't have what you could have done different. You don't have what you could have worked on. You didn't learn anything. You came to Dover, you built the car, you brought it here, you did all the preparation for really zero. You got nothing out of the weekend.
And Brandon always has a good attitude, and you know, that guy he's scratching and clawing to make his way in his sport.
Another restart. Syndrich on the outside, Allgaier on the inside.
Inside lane continues to struggle out of the restart zone, but then accelerates. Well, what a turns 1 and 2 for Justin Allgaier. The 70 storms for the lead.
Allgaier out front. Here comes Syndrich, though. All over his back bumper once again as the 0-0 of Cole Custer working by Zane Smith.
Justin Haley in that 11 car battling for 4th. Remember, he's pretty much in a must-win situation.
As is Ryan Sieg, the 39, right behind him. So two of them nose to tail. And it gets close off that corner.
This is tight racing.
Haley drifts up just a bit in the 11. Zane Smith in the 8s running that higher line.
This is one of those tracks, a 1 mile track, Rick, and it may, from just appearance, one of the fastest tracks, right? Not from physical speed. There are tracks these cars run faster, but I don't think any that look as fast. I mean, it's just no runoff, high, low, anywhere.
Well, I'll tell you who looks fast is that 98 car. He is driven from the back of the pack in 8th place right now, battling Ryan Sieg. He is smoking through this field.
That was the question. Could he come from the back, get up to the front, get points in the first stage? Well, with 16 laps to go, still in stage 1 already, we have seen Briscoe break into the top 7.
Wonder if he gets points. I'm wondering how far he's going to go. I think the top 5 is going to be in front of him. He can run the bottom. He can run the top. Right here, this is the 2 of Tyler Reddick on the left. Watch this. This is how you run a restart. You just climb the banking, 3 wide, run to the 3rd groove. And this works. You just hope that these cars know you're out there when you get to corner exit. The 52 does leave him a lane.
Remember, this is the guy that was sideways in the wall.
Up there, yeah, up
but
there.
Not afraid to go back there. 3 wide.
Went right back to the top, and he's making it work.
That's a great point, Steve. You are sure hoping when you're 3 wide on the outside that message is being communicated to those people you're passing.
One thing about Dover, it gives drivers options. The 0-0 of Cole Custer in the 3rd position is using that option. You see him, he's right behind this green and white car. That's Austin Syndrich in the 22. Look at the 0-0. He doesn't even try to go to the bottom. He drives in on the outside of the 22, tries to get the air, working to get on that quarter panel of the 22. Every corner exit, I tense up, wondering if they both know where their cars are.
And Steve, this was their plan. They weren't exactly thrilled with the balance of their race cars. You see him peel to the bottom here. They told Cole, we're going to have to chase the racetrack today. Move around when you see fit. That's one of the things you can do at Dover. He's moving inside of Syndrich right now.
Well, Syndrich moved around. That was a mirror. That was a mirror move if I've seen one right there. I'm going to run the lane he's in. I don't blame him. You got to protect, fighting for every point. Crosses over. He's going to try to battle into turn 1.
That's side by side for 2nd. As Custer's going to keep the momentum up a little bit higher on the track and clear the 22. Now he'll set his sights on the 7 of Justin Allgaier. Allgaier, winless in 2019. Out front now has a 7/10 of a second lead over Cole Custer. Then it's Syndrich, Zane Smith, and Haley with 12 laps to go. Now 11 in this first stage. It goes by quickly.
Oh, it goes by quickly, and you see where the 0-0 is so good is his car can move all the way around. Another interesting battle. The 1 of Michael Annett has got all the way up to 11th. Why that's important is the next position, that 10th position, are where the points will start to be paid in just 11 laps. So Michael Annett now only 2 spots behind John Hunter Nemechek on the racetrack, trying to protect that points lead.
Dave, did they find out what was going wrong with the 20?
Rick, they think so. They replaced the carburetor on Christopher Bell's number 20 car, and right now it's up to full song. He's running times equal or better than the leader. So 14 laps down, Bell, 13 laps down now. Bell returns to the race, Marty.
Dave, what a run for Chase Briscoe, plus 28 since the start of the race from the back of the field all the way up to 7th. And what Richard Boswell told me, we told you right before the start of the engines today, they changed everything they had time to change here on the 98. Got most of the electrical system changed that they felt during qualifying. So Steve, if you're Richard Boswell, how worried would you be about that? He told me in a perfect world, I would have had another hour to do all of the changes I wanted to do. I got most of what I wanted to do, not everything.
Oh, completely worried. I mean, because I'm not sure that they know specifically what it was that hindered them. I say hindered them in qualifying. They sat on the pole, but the car didn't run as good as it could have. Jeff, you talked about it. You think this 98 is the dark horse to be the 4th car to make it to Miami, and from what we've seen all weekend long, it's making you look pretty smart. That 98 has been fast.
Yeah, he and his crew chief, they've done a really nice job and just learning, getting better, learning each other. Richard Boswell, we spent some time with him. He spoke so highly of Chase Briscoe and the job he's done this year. They really enjoy working together.
Looking back off of Allgaier's number 7. Now the gap just 0.4 of a second. Is 7 laps enough? Now it's going to be down to 6. 6 to go in stage 1. Can Cole Custer catch Allgaier? And if he can catch him, can he get by him?
Custer's running that higher lane, and Allgaier saw him doing that, so he went up there, took away that lane from him. Now Custer's going to have to try something different. Can Cole get to the bottom of the racetrack, get away from that 7 car? Will that work for him? Instead, he's going to try to go even higher than the 7.
Now just 5 laps to go. And the gap, 0.2 of a second.
He's faster. The 00 is faster than the 7. Can he make it happen? Way up the racetrack that time. Got him a huge run down the back straightaway. Right there in the middle of the corner, it just seems like the 00 is able to carry more speed. And that helps him on corner exit.
Here comes slower traffic. They're trying to get by the lap traffic now. Will that hinder the 7 of Justin Allgaier?
And Rick, more importantly for Michael Annett on the right side of your screen, that is points right in front of him. If he passes Ross Chastain, goal number 1 of the day to get stage points here in the first stage with just 4 to go would be accomplished. And Steve, if I'm Travis Mack and they pull this off and you've already had one of your competitors eliminated, I feel a lot better about life in the left-hand side of that screen if I get these stage points right here.
Great move by Michael Annett, patient around the bottom. He got to the inside.
Did Ross Chastain hit the wall there?
I thought he did.
It looked like he maybe made some contact with the wall as Annett was going by.
Justin Allgaier actually using the slow cars to his advantage, kind of using those to hurt the momentum of the 00. So on the right-hand side, Michael Annett, the 1 is taking that position. That's the point Marty just spoke of on the left-hand side right here. This is the 7 of Allgaier, the race leader. The 00 of Cole Custer. What are these two racing for? Not only points, but that playoff point. We talk about buckets, right? Those bonus points, those playoff points that continue into the next round. 1 point will be awarded. That's what Cole Custer's thinking right here.
And 1 lap to go in stage 1. So Allgaier needing points because he hasn't won this year. Not many playoff points at all for Allgaier. And Cole Custer, one of the big 3. And looking to the inside as they work their way through 3 and 4. He's going to get close, but he's not going to get there. Allgaier's going to win stage 1. Just the 6th stage win for Justin Allgaier. As we see the 1 of Michael Annett, he will end up in the top 10. And so a point, a stage point going to Michael Annett. That's what he was looking for, as many points as he can fill into that bucket. Justin Allgaier winning stage 1 from Dover. Will this be the day he breaks that winless streak? Bring the whole family to a NASCAR playoff race, especially these Xfinity and Gander Outdoor Truck Series races where kids 12 and under are free. And then discounted tickets are also available for every Monster Energy Cup Series event. Visit NASCAR.com/kids tickets to learn more. Dave?
Already on pit road is Austin Syndrich in the 22. He's the first pit box in when you enter pit road. A little tight dead center for the 22. 4 Goodyear tires and Sunoco fuel, Dylan.
Dave, Cole Custer said he was loose for about the first 20 laps, then building tight. So Mike Shiplett, the crew chief, said, we've got another short run coming here with this stage. We're going to tighten you up to start. 4 tires, fuel, and a chassis adjustment for the 00, Marty.
It's been over a year since Justin Allgaier won, Dylan. Looking good in stage 1 and that playoff point in the bucket as well with the win there. He said, as we ran, I lost a little bit of center turn, could use a little bit more drive off with the adjustment. They're making the call for an air pressure adjustment in the left rear, and I believe the 7 will hold serve here on pit road and keep the lead, Rick.
Yeah, half car length there for Justin Allgaier, Syndrich, Gregson, Haley, all gaining spots on pit road. Stage 1 is complete. It was Justin Allgaier that won this stage. Syndrich finished in 3rd. Problems, though, for a few of the playoff drivers. 19 of Brenda Jones, as well as the 2 of Tyler Reddick. Right on the first lap.
Brandon Jones, his day was over. That damage, and it's like a damaged radiator. His day was over. And Christopher Bell, his teammate, gets into the wall, but right after this, the thing quit running. They came in and put a carburetor on it. He's back out running, but multiple laps down.
Yeah, the 23 of John Hunter Nemechek makes contact with the Sevis 4, sending Mike Harmon spinning into the inside wall. Looked like a lot of damage to the 23, but an incident I'm sure he didn't want to be involved in.
Pit stop just now for Cole Custer, and they have an issue with the left rear.
Yeah, we're pretty well inside the, I think he finished 2nd in the stage, comes on a pit road, and they struggle getting the left rear tire on. They got to jack the car up even more, and because of that, he's no longer inside the top 10.
And green flag coming out for the start of stage 2. Allgaier, Syndrich. Noah Gregson in the 9 up here into the top 4 now.
Don't look now, that 11, Justin Haley battling with the 9 for the 3rd position in that must win. Can he play spoiler? We keep counting points. Can Justin Haley say, you can have all the points you want, I'm gonna win this race?
Underneath him now is the 98 of Briscoe. Been charging his way up through the field. Team's got to feel really good about where they've gotten this early in this race.
And just looks secure. This right here is off the roof camera of Justin Haley. That 98 right in front of you. Just look how secure that 98 is through the corner. I don't see a lot of movement.
Haley running in the 5th position, as you mentioned. Really a must-win for Haley. You see his numbers down below the cutoff line. He's 26 points below Michael Annett right now. Michael Annett's in that 8th and final transfer spot. Got 1 point at the end of stage 1. Check the box for that goal accomplished, getting points at the end of the first stage.
Got 2 junior motorsports cars in the top 3 right here. His late model stock car is on the pole at Martinsville for the big race tonight. So he's having a good day.
Bubba Pollard, not in part of that race?
Oh, he qualified. I think he qualified 8th, something like that.
8th, top 10.
Gosh, Barry.
Marty.
Hey, Rick, how impressive is Chase Briscoe? We're now plus 31 for him. Keep counting the cars that he's passing, and he's doing all that with how tough the Monster Mile has been today and some problems inside the car. Listen to the radio.
Not that antenna will stay. Hopefully it does. The thing keeps hitting me in the face and screwing with me. Take your fist where the Velcro is and hit it as hard as you can. If it gives you any issues past here, just rip the damn thing out. Don't let it interfere with you.
That is a terrific fix, Jeff, inside the car. Just smash the radio, see if it works. That antenna was bothering him. It kept physically hitting him, so now they've gone to the backup radio on the 98 as if you need more distractions here at Dover inside the car, Jeff.
That's a new fix. Get the hammer out, man. Just hit it.
Take your fist and slam it into it.
I always wondered, how can you come and practice for 2 days and then all of a sudden have an issue in the race like that?
What's Christopher Bell's goal now? He's 13 laps down. He's not going to win the race. He's already locked into the next round.
Honestly, I think for Christopher Bell and his team, it's just keep learning. They made a lot. They weren't happy with their car yesterday in practice. They made a lot of changes to their car. So did they make the right changes? Did they do the things they wanted to do? You're always learning. Although he's not going to run, an Xfinity car next year at Dover, most likely, because we know he's going on to run Cup. He still is learning were the changes that he and his team made, were they the right things to do? And those are things you can just build on throughout your whole career.
And the organization as well.
On board right here with the 20. I was actually asking myself the same question, to be quite honest, is why they were even repaired the car. But I do think maybe it's a little bit of a moral victory. Get back out there, prove how good of a car you did have. And we never know. There might be other components in this car they want to try to learn as the playoffs continue.
Well, the other thing is they're just racers, right? They just want to go race. They just want to go and I know they're not going to get a great finish today, but they can go home and say, we had a winning car. We had a 3rd or 4th place car. They're still, even though they've dug themselves a hole because of that mechanical issue, they're still, at the core of themselves, they're racers.
I want to take a look at Toyota driver update. We'll focus in on Joe Gibbs Racing and the troubles that they had. Really started right on lap 1. Harrison Burton spinning coming off turn 2. Brandon Jones got caught up in that, collected on lap 1 as well. And then Christopher Bell, after just tagging the wall a little bit, had an issue, no fuel pressure, and so he is 13 laps down now.
And Rick, I think Jeff is spot on with what they're doing out here, learning. Based on the practice they had yesterday, it wasn't a good day. Crew Chief Jason Ratcliffe told me that they were tight most of the day and couldn't push the button that would get the chassis to respond well for Christopher Bell. And then just think about today with the engine issues. They were on the other side of the balance too, by the way, being loose. So working on it, finding out how to make it better. And when I asked Jason, well, how far different were you from when you were here in May when you won the race? And he said maybe a 3 out of 10. So they changed a little bit, but it was just enough to throw them off for the weekend, and now they're trying to reel it back in.
So Christopher Bell is trying to learn. Right now, Justin Allgaier is trying to win again. He's won here before last year in May. We go NASCAR nonstop. Wednesday Night Hockey is back on NBCSN at 7:30 p.m. Eastern. PK Subban and the New Jersey Devils are going to take on the Philadelphia Flyers. Then at 10 p.m., LA Kings will be in Vancouver to face the Canucks. Justin Allgaier up front, and right now has a 9/10 of a second lead over Syndrich. Currently starting this playoff race, this elimination race, the 20 and the 00, they had already clinched spots in the round of 8. Now the 22 of Austin Syndrich and the 2 of Tyler Reddick, because of where they're running and the points that they're going to be able to earn, they have also clinched a spot in the round of 8. So that leaves just 4 positions still available right now because the 7 is up front. Justin Allgaier will be shown race leader and advancing. 47 and 37 points for the 98 and the 9. Dave.
Noah Gregson is running 4th in the tracking. You can see down there plus 37 now to the cut line, so that's good news. His race car was a little bit free into the corner. He said, I would deal with the free off myself, but you can fix that free in for me. They made our air pressure adjustment on that last pit stop, Dylan.
And Dave, John Hunter Nemechek runs in the 7th spot, coming off the momentum of his best finish in the last 6 races last week at the Roval. And crew chief Chad Norris acknowledged that gave this team some confidence. It's hard to have some confidence when you're really deep in the points hole, and that run last week kind of brought them out of that hole a little bit. Right now they're lacking rotation. They're just reminding John Hunter, don't get back to the throttle too soon. That's going to make you tighter, Marty.
Behind Nemechek on the track, but ahead of him in points is Michael Annett, doing what he needs to do as of now, plus 4 above the cut line. That would be another point right in front of him if he can't pass Ryan Sieg in the 39. I talked to Travis Mack about the approach for this race team coming into Dover this weekend. He said for years they would just bolt on Justin Allgaier's setup to Michael Annett's car and expect him to go run well. He said, I've learned this year they drive completely opposite, so I came in this weekend focused on doing something different. It has worked. They're running in the top 10, and more importantly, Rick, right now above that cut line.
Yeah, his playoff hope's still alive right now.
And I really think there's more to that story for Marty than just the setup. It's a belief. I think Michael Annett knows that Travis Mack believes in him. Justin Allgaier may be good. He might be able to run this setup, and that's fine for him, but I believe in you, is what Travis is saying. You need something different. I'm not going to hide behind a setup, blame it on you as a driver, hide behind excuses. We're going to be different. We're going to do what you need and try to make this one better for you.
And Steve, you can appreciate this as a crew chief. They went to the simulator this week, and he didn't tell them what setup he was putting in that sim program. He laid out 3 different setups. One of them was Allgaier's, one of them was another teammate's, and one of them was one that he came up with just for Michael Annett. Guess which one he picked? The one for Michael Annett. He said, see, I know what you need in a race car. Believe in me. We'll help you.
Then you hope that that sim correlates to the racetrack when you unload, and I think it has. The one hasn't been bad. Remember, he started all the way at the back after changing an engine.
He was really confident. I talked to him yesterday, and he was standing behind the cars. They were changing the engine, and I'm like, man, are you all right? Like, he said, dude, we're fine. Like, it's okay. We got a good race car. I said, you're not worried at all? Nope, we're fine. I'm not worried about it at all. We got a good race car. We're going to make this thing happen. I mean, he was just as calm and cool as he could possibly be.
Now you see on the left, the 7 has also clinched because of points, even though he's still running up front. The one thing Justin Allgaier wants right now is a win. He wants to get out of that car in victory lane and celebrate with his team because they've been working hard. We saw a lot of victories a year ago for the 7 of Allgaier. In 2019, it has been sparse. They have not been able to find victory lane.
Yeah, you don't believe for a minute that Justin Allgaier is not sick of hearing about the big 3 young drivers, you know, that have won a lot of races this year. He hasn't won any. He's got more experience than all of them. He's tired of it. Like, he is tired of it, and he wants to take the fight to it.
See Justin Allgaier, 12 consecutive top 10 finishes, closing in on Elliott Sadler, Chase Elliott. Type of numbers without a win. He'd like to change that today and get back into victory lane. As we watch the 22, let's listen into team communication.
We're not worried about points or tires. Focus on him for the stage.
I get the points because he's advanced. The tires, Maybe you don't worry about saving tires, or maybe not worried about abusing tires. It sounds like that's a conversation they've had already, and that's the key. You know, what I learned through my crew chief career is have enough communication and conversation before the green flag ever falls where you don't have to start from ground zero, whatever you were trying to communicate. Jeff, I want to have a conversation with you. So when I say don't worry about tires, I'm relaying back to a conversation we've had so you then know, okay, we don't have to spend 30 seconds on the radio. Quick, concise, back to work.
And guys, let's give a pop to Zane Smith here real quick, running inside the top 5. In fact, running in 5th right now. Interesting conversation with crew chief Taylor Moyer earlier today. He made the comment on new tires that part of Zane's learning process is he carries so much speed into the corners that when the car unloads going down in the corner, it almost creates a loose sensation. So the challenge for Taylor is to not adjust that based on things that Zane will learn on his own over the course of developing over the race. So it's been an interesting mindset for the crew chief and driver both, trying to work through the race car and the race track right now. They're a little bit tight off turn 2. That's his latest complaint. By the way, 3 junior motorsports cars in the top 10. So unlike Joe Gibbs Racing, juniors cars having a pretty good day right now.
Yeah, that's an interesting comment about Zane Smith. If you watched practice yesterday, you know, normally, Steve, when you put new tires on, you see this increase in speed, right? And then the tires will fall off kind of to where the old tires were. When you look at Zane's times, you couldn't tell when he put tires on. Now, the positive of that was a lot of people going into this race thought that 8 car, if we got a long run, that 8 car could win this race because his speed was so good on old tires. We're not really seeing that. That hasn't developed into the race yet, but yesterday in practice, there was a serious belief that on a long run, this 8 car would be the one to beat.
See Zane Smith wisely just giving the top lane to the 00. Remember, the 00 ran second in the first stage, lost all those spots on pit road. Good communication on the 8. Now, I don't want you to just, give up a spot at any time, but when someone like Cole Custer's running you down, let him go, maybe learn, right? Why he did run over here in the spring, speaking of Zane Smith, follow this 00, see what he's doing.
And Steve, this is kind of going according to plan here. Remember, they came in at the end of stage 1 and made adjustments to try and make the car better on the short run. Well, here we are in the long run. They continue to get better. And keep in mind, looking ahead already to round 2 in the playoffs, look at 2 of the tracks, 1.5 mile racetracks there. That's right in their wheelhouse. They wanted to just get through today as best they can. And obviously they're doing that right now, but they are excited about the next round. Feel like they have a chance to lock in to Homestead, even on the first race at Kansas.
That's confidence. As I'm sure Justin Allgaier is confident in his race car, as he is now 1.1 second in front of Austin Syndrich. But it's Allgaier who's led 62 laps already, and he will win stage 2. So now the sweep of stage 1 and stage 2, that's just the second time that Justin Allgaier has won both stages. Did it at Bristol earlier in the spring. I'm guessing he would give back every stage win if he could end up getting the race win. But Allgaier again collecting another playoff point for winning stage 2. He's filling the bucket, Steve.
What you got to do, take advantage of it. Doing a great job.
2 stages complete from Dover, Delaware. The Drive Sober 200. And both stages won by Justin Allgaier. Look at the points earned from the stages. Allgaier, of course, getting 10 points for each win, a total of 20. But look a little further down the list and the guys who are fighting for that last spot.
Yeah, John Hunter Nemechek came in needing to gain 11 points on Michael Annett. He's done 3 of them. Still a lot of work to do in this last stage if he's going to make it happen.
So the snapshot now is very clear. You're the 23 car. You need 8 points. That's 8 positions. Every position is a point. So coach your driver along. Try to outrun the one of Michael Annett by 8 positions. But the challenge is going to be 15 cars in the lead lap. So, you know, if Michael Annett just kind of keeps the wheels on it going straight, I think the worst I see him running is, say, 15th, right? Staying on the lead lap somewhere. That means you have to run well up inside the top 7. Now, currently, John Hunter Nemechek is 7th. So the math would say he could do it.
6 points. That's the difference between Annett and John Hunter Nemechek.
The way this race is broken down is fascinating to me. And the reason I say that is both stages are over, right? So you think, oh, we're closing in. We're not halfway yet. The first 2 stages so short, 45 laps, done for a reason. NASCAR wants that final stage to not be a fuel mileage game. They want it to be long enough to know these cars will have to make a pit stop. So now you have 107 to go. All of these guys coming to pit road, 4 tires and gas. Dylan.
And Steve, John Hunter Nemechek will peel off from the 7th position, steadily making progress, scoring stage points he needs. He's complaining that he fired off on the splitter on that run and thinks that the track is going to free up. So crew chief Chad Norris is opting to make an air pressure adjustment to correct that and stay on top of it, along with 4 tires and fuel. Marty?
Those 3 stage points for Michael Annett could be key today, but Travis Mack saying we need a little bit more. Michael saying I feel good about the car. It's just so hard to pass out there. We're going to make an air pressure adjustment here, trying to free that car up just a little bit. For Justin Allgaier in front of him, he joked with his crew chief a moment ago, said, hey, you told me you wanted points today. I went out and I got that. More importantly, they got those 2 playoff points as well, and the changes overnight work to make that car better on the long run. But the 7 loses a few spots here on pit road, Rick.
How about John Hunter Nemechek? We mentioned he needed spots on the track. Well, how about get him on pit road? He gains 3 on pit road.
The drama at Dover continues. John Hunter Nemechek back in to tighten the lug nuts on the left rear tire. They didn't get them all tight when he pitted at the end of stage 2. After that great stop, they had the track position they wanted. It's all for naught. He'll have to restart at the back.
Rick, I don't know how many times we could say it. This is a team sport. As much as we focus on the drivers. John Hunter Nemechek, we thought they gained spots, but focus on the rear changer here. The tire goes on, the jack's gonna get dropped. Well, look, he's still working. He's still trying to tighten lug nuts. I know he perhaps is having an issue, but it's the gentleman dropping the jack. It's his job to make sure the tire changes are done, even if the tire changes are having an issue. Jeff, week in and week out, we see races won, lost, and controlled on pit road.
Yeah, so now John Hunter Nemechek, he was in a position, before these pit stops, he was in a position to take advantage of that great pit stop. Now, he's got to go and find a way to get back in front of Annett, all because of pit road.
Pit gun failure and the 9 of Noah Gregson. They had to come back down pit road to tighten the left rear.
Oh no, he was running really, really well. Now he's got to start in the back because of pit road.
Getting ready to start the final stage. Syndrich, Briscoe making up the front row.
Look at that second car on the outside. The 00 ran well in stage 1. Slow pit stop, got it behind. Trying to recover, but Jeff, you said it. The 98 of Briscoe is going to be good as we beat and bang for second.
A lot of contact.
Those two locked up there. Justin Allgaier now has the position. Syndrich has dropped back to third, but a lot of contact between Allgaier and Syndrich.
Makes
me
nervous.
Spot.
Back cutting the left rear tire on that 22 car. Remember the conversation we had with Syndrich the other day? How aggressive he feels like Allgaier is on the racetrack? There you had it.
He's clear about that. He also said, once we're locked in, I'm going to go out and try to win this race. So now that we know he's in, I think we are seeing that 22 on the right-hand side. We see both the 23 of John Hunter Nemechek and the 9 of Gregson trying to recover. The issue with coming down at pit road a second time, Rick, is you just don't lose positions as far as scored positions. You now no longer line up with the lead lap cars. You're at the back the way the pit cycle. So all these cars they're working through here, they're lap down cars. They're just wasting effort and tires.
Not gaining those points that they so desperately need if they want to advance. Right now, 16 points outside of that 8th position. Look again at what happened between Austin Syndrich and the 7 of Justin Allgaier.
Yeah, Allgaier using a lot of racetrack, but right there, the 22 right against the wall. Justin's been very aggressive. This whole year, he's been really aggressive.
So for Austin Syndrich, that was a moment. And he radioed to his crew, make sure to check my left front, or right front. What do you see? And they told him, we think it's okay for now.
Okay for now.
It's okay till it's not.
Yeah.
And
he'll be the first one to know if it's not.
Yeah, the guy sitting in there,
And so many times we have seen tires go down at this racetrack, and because of the speeds and the banking, these cars will just shoot up into that outside wall.
Cole Custer having to work himself back up. You know, he had that one bad pit stop early in the race, still trying to recover from it.
Custer. There you heard it.
There you go.
I think he might be a little bit worried about the tire issue.
Did you connect the rest of that statement, Rick, in your head? The worst part is look what that tire mark is. I know the 22 is concerned, and he should be, because if that is the tire on the 7, then that exhaust pipe on the right side of the 7 has to be really close to that rear tire.
Marty.
You guys talk about Justin Allgaier being so aggressive. Well, was driving a little more fire on the belly as well after leading 67 laps in the first 2 stages. They lost 4 spots on the last stop. Here's what he said on the radio afterwards.
Come on, we can't have stuff like that, boys. I know it's not effort, but it's going to be tough, man. All right, we got one more. We got one more to get it all back.
They know the car they have today. They don't want to lose it on pit road. Allgaier, it's been more than a year since he won. Certainly would love to get it back to victory lane today.
You know, it's so frustrating as a driver to be doing everything right? Everything's going well. You're hitting marks, you got a fast race car, and then have a bad pit stop, and now you got to claw back out of that hole. I thought he handled it well, though. Like, hey, you know, he had to get it out, right? He said, I know it's not from a lack of effort. I know it's not, you don't care, but we just got to do better than that.
And look, I was on a pit crew. You expect that. I expect my driver, when I watch a restart, I expect my driver to get it done when he goes down in turn 1. Well, you know, when he comes down pit road, he should expect me to get it done when it's in the pit box.
It is still a team sport. I mean, we focus so much on the drivers, but it's an overall team effort if a car is going to end up in victory lane.
100%.
And the list of ways to lose it is long.
What's great about this sport, you know, we put so much emphasis on the driver, but there's so many things that go into it. That relationship between the driver and the crew chief, the effectiveness or not of the pit crew on pit road, all of those things matter. It's not just about that race car and the driver. It's much, much bigger than that.
And Jeff, it definitely is a team effort. That was the case, of course, for John Hunter Nemechek there with that stop most recently when they didn't get the left rear all the way tight. And to Steve's point, before we went back green, over half the race left before we took the green flag a few laps ago. That's been the message conveyed to John Hunter. Hey, we've got plenty of time. We've got one more pit stop still. So don't worry, we're not out of this yet. Plenty of time here, and he continues to try and march forward back at least into the top 10 as he rides 14th right now.
91 laps, so long here at Dover. The top of your screen, the battle for third. I wondered how long it was going to take the 00 to move around. With new tires, I just think you have to run right around the bottom of the racetrack. But as soon as the tires start to wear, it seems like the 00 can start to move up a little bit. Currently 13 laps on this run. He's going to track right behind Austin Syndrich. About a fender lower, I think, is really helping that 00. We'll see what he does here in 3 and 4. This is the end of the racetrack. I saw him go up to the second groove. See if he does it again. Nope, right in the tire. Well, yeah, kind of that medium groove, right? Enters the bottom, diamonds it. Now trying to get a real good run off the corner and carry that momentum.
The fight for the third position will continue. Chase Briscoe out front, won the pole, had to start in the back. Now he's made his way up to the front again. We go NASCAR nonstop. Tomorrow, it's Sunday Night Football from Kansas City. Jacoby Brissett and the Colts are going to visit Arrowhead. Thanks to Patrick Mahomes and the undefeated Chiefs. That coverage beginning at 7 p.m. Eastern with Football Night in America, only on NBC. The Monster Mile may have claimed another one. Marty, interesting. Briscoe running up front, but you're hearing there might be an issue?
Well, yeah, and he's been the story of this race, Rick, all the way from the back to the lead. And remember that electrical issue in qualifying. Listen a moment ago, Chase Briscoe on the radio.
Starting to do it again. 10-4 bus. best you can here. Take care of it. Pace is plenty good. Plenty good. 10's better there.
And since then, he's actually pulled away from second place Justin Allgaier. Richard Boswell there on the left, the crew chief. Remember what he told me, Steve? I got most everything done and changed I wanted to get done. Not everything I wanted to get changed. So what can you do if you're Boswell at this point, Steve? The car's out there. I think you got what you got as a driver. But this is such a frustrating feeling to go from the back to the front and leading, and now you might have another motor issue.
Well, unfortunately for Richard Boswell, the strategy is the worst one I hate to play, which is hope. Hope it works out. And so listen, in the Cup Series, if you have an issue, you come in, you plug your computer in to the electronics, ECU. It says, hey, some sort of, maybe we have fueling issue, maybe it's a firing issue, maybe it's electric. Xfinity Series is still old school, right? Ignition boxes, carburetor. You're trying to diagnose it without a lot of time, without the ability to go back out and make laps. They changed as much as they could. In the end, you hope you have it, or in the end, you hope it's a gremlin that doesn't cost you the day. I was down in the Peacock pit box for qualifying when the 98 came by. It made a noise. I just thought oh, well, 98 is blowing up. And then he's the pole, fastest car here, and my brain couldn't understand how it could sound that awful yet continue to be that fast.
So the other thing that's confusing to me is that his lap times, he just ran a 24:37.
Right.
Like that.
Yeah, fastest that time by.
Faster than anybody else on the racetrack. I know these guys are bottled up in traffic, but still, even behind him, no one's running near that fast. So it's hard to imagine. Now, on a long run, right, if you had a little engine problem, it might not hurt it. But on a restarts, that's where it could really, really get him. We'll have to see. Maybe it's not as bad as he thinks it is. But on a long run, maybe no damage. But on a short run where you have to have that takeoff speed, that might be where he pays the price.
Steve, coming up on 75 laps to go, we know that they'll have to come to pit road, probably the fuel window about 85 laps. So how do you break up the final stage?
Well, so it's interesting because normally I would say, well, you can't really split this one in the middle. You're going to lose a lot of time. But when I look at our timing and scoring here, Briscoe, Allgaier, Syndrich, Custer, one thing very specific about those four is they're all locked into the next round. It's win or bust for these four cars. So if I'm Briscoe, I'm kind of in a tough situation because you are controlling the race. But if I'm Syndrich or Custer, I might peel off in the middle of this stage, lap 55 to go. That would take the breath away. What I'm trying to do there is run the most amount of laps on the newest tire. So it's simple division. If you got to run 110, put the tires on dead in the middle, you only have 55 on each set. That, in theory, should run the fastest lap times. And you will go laps down, but when you put that first lap time down, and it's going to be an improvement, it's going to force those leaders to make a decision. Will they come to pit road with you, or can they stay on the racetrack?
Yeah, Steve, I was going to bring up all those guys who advanced, and if you're Justin Allgaier, you've lost that track position here. Do you, if you're Jason Burdett, make a counter move, make the first move before anybody else does? Maybe you come to pit road and say, hey, we've had the best car here today. Maybe if we can get a little track position, put ourselves in a better spot, why not? They've already advanced to the next round. You got nothing to lose.
Marty, I think for those guys who you said it have nothing to lose, but we're at the people that do have something to gain. John Hunter Nemechek, back there in 12. The only way that he's going to have this happen for him to make the next round of playoffs with Annett running 6 is to do something different. So what is it he could do?
And listen, if I'm Michael Annett, I'm the last guy to come to pit road. I can give up 4 spots. I can give up 4 seconds. I cannot give up a lap. I am racing one car and one car only. I am racing the 23. I don't do anything that puts me a lap behind the 23 under any circumstances.
I'm going to challenge you on that, though. How many times have we seen somebody make a long run here and fail a right front tire? I don't want to be the guy that has a problem. I'd be afraid to blow a right front tire. Dover is so hard on tires. I don't want to be the guy running the longest time out there.
Let's agree to disagree between the two of you two.
Well, as long as you listen to his crew chief, he'd stay on the racetrack.
Again, the battle for the final transfer spot in the playoffs. We go NASCAR nonstop. The official app of NASCAR puts race coverage and in-car cameras right at your fingertips. Just search NASCAR in your app store, or you can visit NASCAR.com/mobile. Up front, Chase Briscoe. Yep, Chase Briscoe, the one who thinks the car might be blowing up on him. He's still up front and has a 1.9-second lead over Justin Allgaier. Syndrich and Custer have just switched positions. Back and forth they go. Tight battle there for the third spot. Zane Smith in fifth, Michael Annett, Haley, C, Gregson on the top 9.
See how important track position is. A double zero is better than the 22, but he has worked to try to get by him now for multiple laps. I mean, even though there's options and he goes up the racetrack, Syndrich in the 22 doing a nice job of just not giving the spot up, right? Fighting him for each position, although he caught that lap car in a difficult spot. We'll see if that hurts the momentum of the 22.
61 laps to go, and again, Chase Briscoe up front. Let's go through the field. We'll start with Marty.
Hey, Rick, no mention from Chase Briscoe about the engine issue since that initial mention a few moments ago. He's led 42 straight laps. I asked him earlier today, how do you feel about the next round of the playoffs if you guys advance? He said, actually a lot better than this round. I like our car rotation. I like the tracks. I feel good about the position we'll be in. Behind him, Justin Allgaier, who I talked to in the pre-race show. I said, hey, you got 4 straight top 5 finishes. Are you flying below the radar? He said, my goodness, I hope so, especially here at Dover, Dave. He considers this his best playoff racetrack.
Marty, it was interesting when I talked to Brian Wilson, the crew chief for Austin Syndrich on this 22. He said that the last segment, the last stage of the race would be awfully close on fuel, and I would never press it unless I was locked in. Well, they're locked in now, and look how high he goes right there, testing the high line. We'll see if any fuel strategy plays out for the 22, Dylan.
Dave Cole Custer has been hovering inside the top 5 all afternoon long, just trying to break through and get up towards the front to lead some laps. Remember how strong they were here in May, led 155 laps and didn't get the win. So they feel like this place sort of owes them one. They're trying to get up front and challenge and get that win that they deserve right now. Cole's a little bit too tight. Behind him, Zane Smith continuing another solid run. He holds down the 5th spot. They were lacking short run speed, but felt like they're better the longer they went. But by the time their car came in, the field was kind of strung out. So they've been trying to sort that out and neutralize that a little bit. He's also battling a tight condition behind the wheel of that 8 car, Marty.
Michael Annett doing exactly what he needs to do in a cutoff race, plus 13 above the cut line. When I talked to Travis Mack this morning as crew chief, he said we can run top 10 here, but top 10 is not good enough today. We need to run better. Right now they're doing that, and he told me we put a lot of work in at the simulator, Dave. He said, I hope all that hard work pays off today. Looks like it might.
Justin Haley hasn't had race-winning speed yet in the 11 car, but he is running better than he did here in the spring. Told me that from practice yesterday. And then they adjusted on the car something during practice that he said, quote, fixed everything. That's how much better he's been this weekend and continues to try to stay in the top 10. As for Noah Gregson in the 9, next in line, Noah this week, remember, got advice from Jimmy Johnson about running this track. It was so different than what normally did that he was worried about changing his game this far into the playoffs. But he's run well today, and he's got information to use in the future, both what he used to do and what an 11-time winner would do here, Dylan.
And Dave Ryan C runs 9th, and while he may not make the next round of the playoffs, this RSS racing team is going to use the rest of this year to get ready for next year. It's extra time to do things that are important to their small team. They don't have the resources at their shop like others do to make gains during the winter, so using that at-track time is very valuable to them. That's their plan moving forward from Dover. Behind him, John Hunter Nemechek marching back forward. He's up to the 10th spot. I asked Chad Norris if he felt like they deserved, based on their performance, to make it to round 2. He said, sort of, yes and no. We had some struggles this year, but last week was a nice reminder of what we're capable of. No mistakes. That's what he said the key was. They had one today that they're trying to recover from, Marty.
Dylan Brandon Brown just fell out of the top 10 a moment ago. What a race for him to have a terrific run like this, because it's a home race. He's from Woodbridge, Virginia, finished 13th here at Dover in May. So a nice run for Brandon Brown. And behind him, believe it or not, a lap down, Tyler Reddick. Just went down a lap a moment ago. Of course, had the contact with the wall at lap 1. He told the team a little while ago, we can do Tyler Reddick things and make a comeback from here, but it's going to be tough being a lap down now after that contact on lap 1, Rick.
Hey, great job, you guys. And you saw it on the left side of your screen just moments ago. 7 of the 8 spots have now clinched. So the 9 of Noah Gregson, he is advancing into the round of 8. Only 1 spot still available as we go NASCAR nonstop. NASCAR on NBCSN is brought to you by Credit One Bank, the official credit card of NASCAR, perfect for race fans. And by the Ford F-150, built Ford tough. 44 laps to go, and Chase Briscoe still up front, has a 1.7 second lead over Justin Allgaier. And it's Cole Custer, Austin Syndrich, Zane Smith. They are all in the top 5. Now, Briscoe closing in on John Hunter Nemechek, who's running 10th, so potentially could put John Hunter Nemechek a lap down.
Yeah, once you go lose a lap, it becomes very difficult to try to gain those points. But Jeff, 43 laps to go. If this race stays green, that will bring in green flag pit stops, and you've talked all weekend about how difficult this pit road entry is.
One of the most difficult pit road entries on the circuit because the inability to see pit road. Here's one of the best drivers we had, Matt Kenseth, getting on pit road here and climbing these tire barriers. I would say pit road's even gotten more difficult since this incident. The wall has been extended out by the racetrack, and the pit road entry is even more difficult. So green flag pit stops here, you're going to have to be really, really smart in how much speed you carry to this point. You actually have to lift, slow down more than you do making a normal corner. Driving into turn 3, if you drive in as deep as you normally do, you're not going to get it slowed down. You have to be inside of that orange box with all 4 tires. And we see so many times here people making mistakes. Noah Gregson on pit road hard, smoking the left front.
Dave.
And Rick will find out if he made it down to pit road speed. It's tough to do, and we just saw why. He hits his marks perfectly, though, in his pit box. It'll be a 4-tire change Goodyear's going all the way around, and a Phillips Sunoco fuel to get him to the end of this race. Remember, the rest of the laps to go here are less than now the first 2 stages each, so this should be a good indication. Little air pressure adjustment and trouble on the left rear, losing tons of time getting that left rear on, still trying to secure the lug nuts.
So as a crew chief, Dave Ellen's now so frustrated. You go ahead and lock into the playoffs. That's why you go ahead and gamble. You bring the 9 on pit road early to try to gain some time on the leader with that slow pit stop. Any bit of strategy you try to play is out the window. As we see, the leader, the 98 of Chase Briscoe, has now gotten by the 23 of John Hunter Nemechek. See how he did it right here. He gets right in the left rear. 23 gets loose with that air, gets in that left rear quarter panel.
So I know the book would call for John Hunter Nemechek to wait to be, until he wasn't the first car lap down, but I have to believe that they have to push the button here. I'm not so sure they just shouldn't come to pit road right now and just try to get tires on and make up a ton of ground. Hope Michael Annett makes a mistake. I don't know that they can get there by just playing it straight up.
Well, and Jeff, that was really not what even they had planned there. They were going to make Chase go around him on the outside. They were telling John Hunter, make him take the long way around, and then he drove right up there and just moved him out of the way. So it kind of went from bad to worse right there. They're about 15 laps away from wanting to come down pit road, so still a few laps away for John Hunter. Marty?
And Dylan, I'm curious how brave Steve would be as one of these bubble crew chiefs. Travis Mack told Michael Annett on the radio a moment ago, I'm thinking fuel only here at the end. So we saw 4 tires there for the 9 a moment ago. We hear Tyler Reddick's going to come down pit road this time, take on right side. So would you go fuel only if you're one of these bubble guys, Steve? What would your plan be on this last stop?
Absolutely not. I would come down, put on 4 tires. I don't care if I have to jump over there with a torque wrench and make sure they're tight, because he could give up 30 seconds to John Hunter Nemechek and still be in the playoffs. This is not the time to gamble. This is where you get your pit crew together and say, guys, hit him twice if you have to. Extra tight, a loose wheel, we cannot afford it.
Yeah, my concern would be, here's Austin Syndrich on pit road, Dave.
He said he needs 4 tires, he needs a little bit of fuel to get to the end, and better fire off, so they'll make an adjustment so that when he first goes back out on the track, his car's quicker than it was before. Marty?
Justin Allgaier coming down pit road here from the second position. See him sliding to a stop there. So early in the run, the car was tight, but then at the end of the run, he was sliding all 4 tires, and it's going to be 4 fresh Goodyear tires and Sunoco fuel for Allgaier. So we'll see if that helps him out with all that fresh rubber.
More cars on, get busy.
A lot of smoke got our attention. Zane Smith in the 8 slid the tires for a long time trying to get down to pit road speed. Pulls into his pit box.
Dylan.
And that pit entry is challenging for veterans, let alone rookies making select starts this year. So another challenge for Zane. He adapted, though, complaining he's a bit tight, so they were working the brake bias to the rear of the car under that green flag run, Marty.
So far, you've seen everybody take 4 Goodyear tires. It's going to be the same for Tyler Reddick. Initially, they had talked about right sides only, but just going to be 4 tires for them. Again, after that contact, a lap down during that long green flag run.
So we've heard about the leader, Chase Briscoe, and this intermittent engine issue. This would be a point of concern for pit stops. So its running seems to be okay on the racetrack, but when he slows down, as he's doing right now, to come to pit road, will that force whatever this issue is to get worse? Will it run okay? Looks like he gets down to speed okay, maybe even a little conservative, which he can do with one of better cars.
I think that was way conservative right there. The 7 of Allgaier pitted before he did. Newer tires, making lap time up. I don't know that he's going to come out with the lead, the 98.
Well, he got down to pit road speed. We'll see if his pit crew could get the tires on it efficiently here.
Dylan.
Ryan Sieg in as well from inside the top 10. The crew making right side adjustments, and is now 4 tires in fuel for Ryan Sieg as Briscoe is in, Marty.
Yeah, no complaints chassis-wise for Chase Briscoe. Very happy with it, obviously. He comes to pit road with a 4.5-second lead. We'll see if they can hold that lead here on pit road. A little long there on the left rear for the 98. Chase Briscoe with the 4 fresh Goodyear tires and Sunoco fuel. We'll see where he cycles out. Some of the guys still haven't come to pit road. We'll see what happens there.
Too conservative. You mentioned it. Justin Allgaier, between coming to pit road early and getting on and off pit road quicker, was over 2 seconds back, and he will be in front of the 98. That will be the race for the lead when Cole Custer, Annett, Haley, and John Hunter Nemechek come to pit road.
And not by a little bit in front. He is going to be almost a full straightaway in front of that 98 car.
What a pit call for Justin Allgaier and his team.
And give the driver credit. I love the pit call coming early, but lap times didn't pick up that much. A little bit, a half a second, a couple laps. That's one of the 2 seconds. Jeff, you called it. The 98 came to pit road, very simple looking, and you said you thought it was too much. You would know, you've done it the most. I think it was dead on. That was the issue for the 98.
It's such a hard pit stop. We've talked about it. Getting on pit road is so difficult. That's why I just believe the young drivers need to work on pit road entry. But remember, small things matter. The way the Xfinity cars get to their garage area here in practice is they enter off of the racetrack in the middle of 3 and 4. They don't come down pit road. So the only time you practice is if you make a concerted effort to practice that pit road entrance.
4 cars still to come to pit road. They will have to do that. Custer, Annett, Haley, and John Hunter Nemechek. We go NASCAR nonstop.
Dover, green flag pit stops underway. John Hunter Nemechek pulling into the pit area.
A huge turn of events just takes place. There were green flag pit stops underway, and the 90 spins trying to get onto pit road. That's Dylan Bassett. The 23 was on pit road, but with the caution coming out, does that help the 23 save that lap that he was down?
Well, we're going to have to see. He was already 1 lap down on the racetrack, so this would be saving another lap not to go 2 or perhaps 3 down. I think the bigger decision, Cole Custer was still on the racetrack, race leader. Michael Annett still on the racetrack. And guys, must-win situation for Justin Haley. Well, he is only one of the 3 cars currently on the lead lap. Michael Annett might have to race him to save his playoff spot.
We've been talking about how hard it is to get onto pit road. Well, here you see it. Bassett just carrying too much speed. Car comes around on him, and NASCAR really has no choice right here but to throw the caution with that car sneaking up near the racetrack. They just have to throw the caution right there.
Yeah, we're going to have to get timing and scoring the loop here, but I mean, the storylines are huge. Annett is going to get a lucky break. The unlucky break, though, is that Haley is still on the lead lap. Remember, if he wins, he's going to take that 8th spot. The other 7 are all locked. There's 1 spot available. It's either going to go to points or to a win. If it's points, right now, Annett has a pretty good sum, a pretty good advantage. But could it be a win? We saw Justin Haley win the Cup race at Daytona in a thunderstorm. Could lightning somehow strike twice and this guy goes victory lane? He won in Cup before he won in Xfinity.
Justin Allgaier with that good pit stop and with pitting early, he is going to get the free pass. So he's going to get the wave around right here. We'll be back in the lead lap.
And this lineup is going to be interesting. You have a lot of guys that have pitted. There's only 3 on the lead lap, 3 1 lap down, a handful 2 laps down.
Well, so Allgaier will make it 4 on the lead lap, and then
but he'll have to start back a ways.
You would expect Briscoe and Syndrich, they would do a wave around because they've already been to pit road.
Yeah.
So that'll put 6 on the lead lap.
Man, I'd like you, Haley.
Haley and Annett.
Justin Haley.
I mean, Haley and Annett. Like, mano y mano. Listen, there's a spot available. Can you go beat me? Can you win the race? Dylan.
And we saw John Hunter Nemechek there in nonstop pulling onto pit road right as the caution fell. They just took right side tire, so the message was very clear. Do not slide when you're coming into the pit box. So just right sides only for John Hunter to try and get him some more track position.
Well, Steve, you mentioned it. Lightning striking. Can it happen twice for Justin Haley? They try a little strategy at Daytona, and again, this is in the Cup race.
Yeah, huge crash. Takes out a ton of the front runners. The 77. He's driving for Spire Motorsports. Sneaks through. And then he's kind of riding around. They think we're coming to one to go. Kurt Busch, Landon Castle peeled off. A lightning strike within a certain distance of the racetrack. They have to put the caution lights back on. And eventually the rain comes. And congratulations, Justin Haley, you are a Cup Series winner.
All right, let's listen in to team communications for the 11.
Stay on the flat. Stay on the flat as much as possible here, even like paramount the rest of the time. That way we keep that box full in the fuel cell.
So obviously Justin Haley very low on fuel, and the pickup is in the corner. So if you go in the banking, because you're going in a circle, things spin to the outside, that's where it is. But under caution speeds, the fuel gravity takes over, it falls away. So that's why it's riding around on the flat. They're gonna want pit road to be open. It looks like it is this time. So now he just needs to get back to pit road to be okay.
Well, let's give a great call to his crew chief, Alex Jans, for understanding the situation they were in, not giving up, not quitting, taking the only choice they could. Do something different from everybody else, and that has put them in the position to try to make some magic here.
Matt Colleague standing up there in the back. Team owner, a couple races this year, he has said, I want trophies. So they went to Daytona, they won a trophy. They did the same thing with the Charlotte Roval. AJ Allmendinger ends up winning for him at that race last week.
So big gap. You see the first car in pit road, that's the 00 of Cole Custer. Dave.
And when that run started, Justin Haley jokingly said, yeah, let's run it till it's dry. Well, it almost was. Crew chief told him he was very close to running out of fuel there, so he'll get the fuel he needs now. They'll tighten up the race car a little bit, Dylan, for this last run.
And Dave, the crew telling Cole Custer, back it down. We do not need a speeding penalty right here. So Cole going to take his time getting out here, reporting the car is too tight. Air pressure adjustment and tape, Marty.
Michael Annett with a huge break there, getting the caution while they were still on the racetrack, barring a Justin Haley win here. They could be in good shape on the one car. But the car's a little bit too free getting into the corner. That's his only complaint, and air pressure adjustment, trying to tighten them up. And it was a lonely pit road, Rick. Just 3 cars on pit road.
It was. Only lead lap cars were able to come to pit road the first time by. celebrating 50 years. It's the 50th anniversary of Dover International Speedway. Back in '69, Richard Petty, first Cup race win here at Dover. Then his son, Kyle Petty, wins in '95. That was on the new concrete surface. Emotional win for Dale Earnhardt Jr. right after the 9/11 attacks. Jimmy Johnson, a record setter at this racetrack, 11 times he has bettered Miles the Monster, and it will be the 100th Cup Series race. Tomorrow, in 2 weeks, the 8 drivers who advanced today are going to have a chance to capture a spot in the championship round. The NASCAR Xfinity Series playoffs will continue from Kansas. Again, that's in 2 weeks, October 19th on NBC. Dave.
With Alex Johnson now crew chief for Justin Haley. Well, your luck has been so bad the last few weeks. Did it just turn around here?
Yeah, you know, you and I had talked about that earlier, yesterday. We've had terrible luck the past few races when it really needed to count.
That's a lot of wave arounds.
Like Justin and I was talking, all we can do is race our race and be in contention, and I feel like everything fell just right into place to where we can be in contention. You know, I can't thank everybody at Leaf Filter, Colleague Racing, Colleague Companies for all the hard work they put in, and you know, we're finally getting to show what we're made of. So Justin Haley's doing one heck of a job behind the wheel, and we're really proud of our whole organization right now. So hopefully he'll climb up on the wheel, and we'll see what we got here at the end.
You'll get a shot right here, Rick.
15 laps to go. He has a shot, a chance.
So Rick, we have Cole Custer, Michael Annett on the front row. Justin Haley will be inside row 2. We just talked to his crew chief. Great turn of events for Justin Allgaier. So he is the free pass car. Normally we'd have to line up behind the lap down cars, but they all pulled over and let him go, and behind all of them are wave around cars. So as crazy as it looks, the lineup correct.
And look at the confusion. There's some real confusion back here in the back with the 22 and the 98. They're 3 wide.
They got it settled out before they went across the start-finish line. A great restart for the 0-0 of Cole Custer. Here comes Justin Allgaier. He's up to second. Allgaier still looking for a win in 2019.
Silly as it sounds, that's what Michael Annett wants to see. As long as the 11 is behind him, he knows that his path to the playoffs is clear.
11 almost got into the 8 car. Both cars up the racetrack. I think Zane Smith was trying to get away from him. There he goes again. Haley has nothing to lose. He's going to push the issue right here.
Here comes Gregson. Oh, not able to get in the gas.
You hear him playing with the throttle. Got really tight on corner exit.
And again, a little bit higher up the racetrack. Here comes Noah Gregson. He goes by him. The gap between 1 and 2. Custer and Allgaier, 0.4 of a second.
With the 11's inability to go up there and take the lead, Michael Annett currently looks really good on points. So now if you go back to the front of the field, Cole Custer and Michael Annett.
Up into the wall, turn 2.
Caution on 2 here.
And coming in and getting him to Matt Mills, but that was the 07, Ray Black Jr. And the 01 also involved.
Like I got a flat or something.
Stephen Light. So another restart coming up.
Yeah, Monster's eating some more cars right here. Unfortunately, Haley, the guy that needs to win this race, he's going to start on the outside this time. He scored in 4th place. I think that's actually beneficial to him.
Yeah,
rather than
good work
on the
for
inside.
Allgaier, right? Allgaier drove right up there to second.
You guys remember they said they were going to tighten the race car up. Justin just radioed in way too tight in the 11.
Yeah, it looked really tight. Getting on the out of turn 2 on the exit, you could hear him big time having to get out of the throttle.
The 07 goes around, and then chain reaction. The 01 and the 5 as they try to slow down for the wreck. I think there was some contact. Looked like the 01 had damage coming into the screen.
Oh yeah, contact.
Yeah, the 5 got into the 01 when he was checking up. Again, Ray Black Jr. in that 07 around. So another restart, and we're getting closer to just 10 laps to go in this race. Can Cole Custer hang on, or will it be Justin Allgaier who breaks that winless streak at the Monster Mile? You can catch all the action of NASCAR on NBC with the NBC Sports app. You can get close with ultimate camera angles, driver stats, track information. Get it anytime, anywhere. Go to NBCSports.com/live. And again, after the race, post-race coverage here on NBCSN, followed by Breeders' Cup Challenge. As they're running on the racetrack again, after the caution came out with so few on the lead lap, you look at the points, 14 separating Michael Annett, John Hunter Nemechek.
All right, so Jeff, I'm going to ask a question here. Michael Annett currently running in third, 6 cars in the lead lap. Should Michael Annett go out here and race, or should he perhaps just get out of the way and try to make sure he ends up in the lead lap? Dylan.
And guys, there was some discussion whether John Hunter Nemechek was going to come down or not because he would get the free pass. They decided to bring him down, and they're just going to change left side tires on John Hunter Nemechek's car. So remember, they changed right sides a bit ago, back in to put the left sides on, make this in essence, a 4-tire stop. And we're going to catch up with Travis Mack here, who's the crew chief for Michael Annett, who runs third right now. So one of the guys you're trying to beat is the 11, obviously, and he lines up behind you guys or close to you guys. How worried are you about how aggressive he's going to be just to lay it on the line here and get what he needs to get?
I'm a little worried. You know, he's going to be really aggressive here to try to win this race. That 00 is pretty solid. That 7's a really good car. We're going to try to bring it home in one piece and move on to the next round of 8.
It's been a really good day for these guys. Going to try and finish it off here running third right now.
You know, I don't want to make it sound like it's easy. We have seen stack-ups on the restart, and that one will be restarting on the inside. An easy place to spin the tires, easy place to get run over from behind. That's why I posed that question before that update, Jeff. You know, if you're Travis Mack, what are you telling Michael Annett? Are you saying, hey, just bring it home in one piece? This is going to sound crazy. You just pull out a line and go to the back of the field and just finish 6th, last car in the lead lap. I think there's some options they might have to consider.
The goal right here is to advance to the next round. I know you want to win this race, but you got to do whatever you have to do to advance to the next round.
With so few cars on the lead lap, the 22 team decided to bring Austin Syndrich down pit road. He didn't want to be too tight in the center. That was his complaint on this last quick run. Now they've made just an adjustment to that car, did not change any tires or add fuel.
Let's listen in on Chase Briscoe's team communications.
Restart behind the 7 and the 1. They're going to push each other hard, so we'll push them. Hey, don't go over.
Yeah, well, Michael Annett said, don't push me.
Hey,
I don't want any push.
Don't push me.
Like, I'm trying to advance the next round of playoffs, and to your point, is it best for him just to get out of this battle? You know.
Well, he's in it now.
Yeah, live to fight another day, and that's next. You know, that's the next race and the first race, the next round of playoffs.
I mean, he wants to be here to try to make sure the 11 doesn't win, because that would eliminate him. But
good point.
I don't know. I think I'd leave that in the hands of the 7 and the 00.
But the 7 and 00, if they have an issue on the restart.
Well, this 11 starting on the outside. I mean, I'd be shocked if he's not second coming off turn 2. This outside has just rolled all day.
Coming up on 7 laps to go.
Great start by the 11, Justin Haley. Really good launch.
Haley pushing the 00 of Cole Custer. But here comes the 7 of Allgaier once again. Little contact as they go down the backstretch. Haley running third. Syndrich is fourth. Haley in a must-win situation.
Oh, you don't want to be 3 wide here.
6 laps to go. Cole Custer up front. Allgaier falling back. Lost a lot of ground through 1 and 2. Here comes Haley.
Listen, Haley made a big run on Allgaier off turn 2.
And the gap lengthens now between Custer and Allgaier.
Yeah, that lap time by Cole Custer, very impressive. A half a second better than second place Allgaier. Syndrich came to pit road to make some adjustments on that 22 car. Seems to turn a little bit better. I just think he's going to run out of laps. Currently in the 4th position. Going to need another yellow, I think, to close the gap.
This whole season, the story has really been about the big 3. Cole Custer with Christopher Bell and Tyler Reddick. Tyler Reddick, Cole, and Christopher Bell, they both are going to be going on into the Cup Series next year. Cole Custer, it is still not determined what is going to happen in 2020 for him. So now he's getting ready, potentially just 3 laps away, 2 now, from winning his 7th race this season. Is there a spot in the Cup Series for him?
Well, he's proven that Reddick had an issue, that 20, Bell had an issue. Well, the third of the big 3, he didn't have an issue. He wins the race. I mean, these are the 3 you have to beat. Justin Allgaier, at perhaps one of his best tracks, has a good car, but he just has nothing for the 0-0 in these closing laps.
How about Justin Haley? How sideways he was off turn 4. Just trying his hardest to do everything he can to stay in that 3rd position. You never know what's going to happen. Syndrich taking the battle to him, going to take this spot.
Fighting for every position on the racetrack. Cole Custer, 1 lap to go, presented by Credit One Bank. On an anniversary weekend for Dover, the 50th anniversary. It's also an anniversary for Cole Custer. It's his 100th start in the Xfinity Series. And it looks as though Cole Custer is going to get his 7th win of the season. It comes on his 100th start, and it comes at the Monster Mile.
Thank you guys. I've been wanting to win here for a long time. Great big goal. Good job, guys. Good job. We got that gold monster.
Now it's Cole Custer who has the momentum. How about drivers to win in their 100th start? Ronnie Silver back in '86, Jeff Green, champion of the series, won in '97, McMurray in 2004, Kyle Busch in 2007, and now Cole Custer adds his name to that list.
That's a 24th win for his crew chief, Mike Shiplett, doing really good work. 5 wins in the playoffs. Crew chief on this 0-0.
It was an impressive weekend for Cole Custer. I know that in practice, he was looked at as more than likely the favorite. It took a little bit of a cycle and a caution to come out for him to be in the position. But when it all shakes out, it's Cole Custer who's going to celebrate. And as he mentioned, Miles the Monster, the statue that you get, the trophy from this racetrack, because of it being the 50th anniversary, it is gold. And so Cole Custer will be able to capture the gold Miles the Monster trophy. Comes over to his team to celebrate with them. Cole is looking at one thing. The championship this year. We were able to sit down with him last night, and his focus, it's not on going cup racing, it's on winning races and winning this championship. And Marty's there to celebrate with him.
What a win for this race team, one of the big 3. Struggled to start the playoffs, but an answer here at Dover. Cole Custer gets the win. On a day when maybe didn't have the best race car, he comes through for the fans here at Dover with a big win. And did you expect this one, Cole? The way the day was going, it didn't seem like you guys were going to be contenders.
Yeah, we didn't have the track position kind of all day, and we fought it a little bit. We kind of tried something new this race, but I mean, I wanted to win here so bad for so long. I've been close a number of times, and just to win the gold monster, it's unbelievable. Having Production Alliance Group on the car, it's their 3rd race in the car, and it's their 3rd win, so this is unbelievable. But I don't know, I just can't thank everybody at the shop. Mike with a great pit call. I mean, it was just, I can't believe it turned out that way, but I just can't thank everybody enough.
Why was this place near the top of places you wanted to get to victory lane?
I think it's just every driver's favorite racetrack, you know, and everybody wants the monster. I mean, it's such a cool racetrack. You're so in the throttle and you're driving it every single lap. So that's definitely one that you want to cross off the box.
And he's crossed off the monster now. The Dover fans get to see Cole Custer make it to victory lane, and now he's making a trip for a checkered flag, Dave.
With Michael Annett now down on pit lane. I heard you kind of apologizing that you couldn't run real hard there at the end, but that was smart. You are through, my friend.
Yeah, I can't say enough about these guys, and
all the way through these playoffs. Just, to come from the back today, just the testament to the car they gave me. Then some awesome strategy that put us out front. That's two in these playoffs that Travis done that just was off the wall a little bit and just put us in great position. I think I was trying to do my high school math out there, and I think I needed to beat the 23/8 in that last segment. So, the strategy helped. I don't think we needed it. I saw him pit, so I knew we were good at that point. But it was just a lot of fun. Yeah, I just didn't want to do anything stupid. Go down in the corner. You see a lot of guys get loose here underneath guys. Especially when you're going for a win. You do a lot of things you normally don't do. But knew Cole would be tough on that restart, and I just wanted to hang tough and just bring it home. That's what these guys deserve. My best playoff run so far since we started these playoffs. So I'm looking forward to it because we got a lot of good tracks ahead of us.
The Michael and Mac combo strong in 2019.
And the 8 names are now determined who will advance to the second round of the playoffs in the NASCAR Xfinity Series. And maybe one person flexing their muscles as to who is the favorite for the championship in 2019. The win at the Monster Mile goes to Cole Custer. It's the first time he's won at this racetrack. 9 career wins already for the 21-year-old.